Tailgaters? You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate today. Welcome to my channel. We're going to go through another preview and prediction video for the games happening this Saturday in Week 0. This one's set to take place in San Diego, California in Snapdragon Stadium. We got the Ohio Bobcats and the San Diego State Aztecs set to do battle. Should be an exciting one in Week 0. But before we dive into this preview prediction, I just need to say thank you for all the support on the channel this past summer. Let's continue to see the growth and support of this channel into the college football season as well. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button and ringing the bell so you guys can stay up to date on everything that I post and upload during the college football season. But there are more ways that you can help support my channel. You're doing one right now by watching the video. You guys can do more by liking, commenting, sharing, anything else you guys are willing and able to do to help me support my channel. All right. Here we go. One of the best offenses in the Mid-American Conference from last season, the Ohio Bobcats, versus one of the best defenses in the Mountain West Conference, if not in the entire nation, in the San Diego State Aztecs. These two teams have fairly high expectations in their respective conferences. They're starting off the slate against each other in what should be maybe a very under the radar. Again, it's not the biggest game, but a game I highly suggest you tune into. I think it's going to be a very entertaining one in Snapdragon Stadium this Saturday. So let's go ahead and dive in to some stats from last season, shall we? Some statistics from 2022. We are going to start, of course, with the top team, the away team, the Ohio Bobcats, who, as I said, were one of the most, or I should say, were one of the best offenses in the Mid-American Conference last season. They held onto the football, only 13 turnovers last season, over 40% on third down conversion. That's just a little bit of the in-depth stats. Again, still very surface level. But when you take a look at points, 31 points per game, over 400 yards per game. Again, there are some good defenses in the Mid-American Conference, but this Ohio offense is loaded. Curtis Rourke is back at the quarterback position. You got two phenomenal weapons at running back in C.A. Bangura and O'Shawn Allison, who comes back from injury from last season. That's a phenomenal 1-2 punch in the running back room. Sam Wiglas is one of the best wide receivers the Mid-American Conference has to offer. You also got guys like Miles Cross, Jacoby Jones, Tyler Walton, some other names back there as well. So this is a Bobcat offense that is loaded to the brim. There is a lot of phenomenal talent on it, and they should be one of the better offenses that the Mid-American Conference sees this year. Only one problem: you'd like to see that offense improve. However, you got two graduates, two seniors, and a junior that are projected to start on the offensive line. They did allow 25 sacks last year. I expect that to get better for the Bobcats this season. Let's move over to the defense, which definitely had its struggles last season. Didn't do a great job of defending the pass, didn't do a great job of allowing teams out of the end zone, didn't even do a great job of stopping teams from driving down the field. Wasn't that great in their third down defense. However, they did force 25 turnovers, and they got to the opposing quarterbacks 36 times. That's over 2.5 sacks per game for the Bobcats last season. So while this team did struggle to keep teams off the scoreboard and from driving down the field, they forced turnovers. They were able to get pressure on the quarterback, and that's what led to a lot of the success for the Bobcat defense last season. And I still think you have a lot of solid talent on. In fact, looking at this roster, most, if not all, of the defensive front seven is going to be made of graduates and seniors. So you have a very experienced defensive front in the secondary. While it is younger, there are a lot of very solid pieces in there, including a grad transfer in Walter Reynolds that comes in. You got some other transfers coming in as well. Justin Burchett is coming back. He is a graduate corner for this Bobcat team. So offense, I think, should be really good. Defense, I expect improvement, but again, they're going to have to prove that improvement as well. However, this Bobcat defense is going up an Aztec offense that, let's be honest with ourselves here, was not the best of offenses last season. In fact, they really, really struggled. Now, the bread and butter of this team is defense, yes, and we will talk about that. But this team struggled in pretty much every offensive category. Points, only 21 points per game. Not great. They barely scored more than what their defense allowed last season. Yards, they didn't really drive the ball down the field in any aspect, rushing or passing the football. Third down percentage, they were one of the worst in the country last season in terms of converting on third down. Not even 30% conversion rate for them last season. They turned the ball over 25 times. They allowed almost 2 sacks per game. Just nothing went right for this Aztec offense last season. And, well, there is going to be a little bit of overturn as well. However, Jalen Maiden is coming back at quarterback. You've got some solid weapons in the running back room led by Keenan Kristen, and there is a lot of overturn in the wide receiver room. However, some solid pieces like Felipe Wesley, Mekhi Shaw, and some others do end up coming back to this room. And it's an offense that started to find its spark late last season, so maybe they can continue that momentum here into 2023. But the bread and butter of this team is the defense. Now, what did they do last year? 20.5 points per game allowed. One of the best marks in the country. Only allowed just shy of 325 yards per game. Also one of the better marks the country saw last year. One of the best rush defenses in the country last season. So a pretty solid third down defense. And they got pressure to the quarterback. Had almost 3 sacks per game last season. However, they didn't force as many turnovers that their offense was giving up. This was a -5 turnover differential team from last season. And not to mention, it's a defense that loses 8 or 9 starters off of this unit from last season. So there is a ton of overturn on the starting front. Now, saying all that, this should still be one of the most loaded, one of the best defenses the Mountain West Conference, if not the nation, has to offer this season just based on the style of football that they play. But man, there is a lot that is going to have to get replaced. A lot of talent is going to have to step up for this Aztec team on the defensive end if they want to see numbers like this here in 2023. So look for San Diego State. Look for some young guys to get some good playing time. Look for a lot of the experienced depth guys to get some solid playing time to see what works and see what pieces fit in on the defensive end. There are some solid pieces coming back all over the field that were some depth pieces last year, but you definitely want to see some of those younger guys step up on the defensive end, and let's see if the offense can continue its momentum as well. So here's my what to watch for. I give you kind of some keys for the game or things to notice or take note of as you are watching this game. Rourke is dealing with an injury. He is coming off, I believe, an ACL, but this offense is still going to be effective. Again, there are too many weapons for this team not to move the ball down the field, even with how effective this Aztec defense is still going to be able to be. Bangura Allison at the running back room. You have one of the best quarterbacks the Mid-American Conference has to offer in Curtis Rourke, a loaded wide receiver room that has some freshmen and transfers entering the room as well. It's an offense that is going to move the football, is going to score points, and it's going to be effective in this game. Now, the defensive front for the Bobcats, guys like Vonnie Watkins, Rodney Matthews, Rayan Buell, Shane Bonner, many other names as well, are going to bring pressure to this Aztec front. They are going to be able to try to break through this Aztec offensive line, and they're going to be able to bring pressure to the Aztec quarterback in Jalen Maiden there as well. They're going to create havoc and make life really tough for this Aztec offense. But can the Bobcats expose the Aztecs' weaknesses? This says it will, because I think they are set up very nicely for it. I think with all the pieces that San Diego State lost defensively, sure, they might be able to replace some of them, have some guys step up, but I think Ohio is well equipped with Curtis Rourke and company to be able to expose that threat, and the defense as well should be able to provide its havoc for the San Diego State Aztec offense that, again, has a lot to improve on from last year, but can the Aztec offense keep up with Ohio? That's my first key for the Aztecs here. Again, it gained some momentum late last season, but there is a lot of overturn. There is a lot of change, albeit there is a lot of experience here on this offensive end as well. So we'll see if the Aztec offense can keep up with the Bobcats if this ends up becoming a shootout match, because more likely than not, San Diego State is not equipped to handle a shootout, and it's not a team that can explode if it needs to. It's not a team that can just rip off quick offensive scoring drives if they get behind early. Clock control, though, is going to be vital. San Diego State, the way that they play football, clock control is going to be their best friend. Keep the Ohio offense off the field as long as possible while keeping your defense rested and healthy, making sure that they can fill in. But again, that's my question. How quickly can the defense gel? I've been saying it all video long, and will it be enough to slow down Curtis Rourke and company? That's another question that will need to be answered while watching this game. Currently, the Aztecs are 3.5-point favorites. Over-under is around 49, a little bit of a lower number. And FPI does like San Diego State in this game. It's a 7 o'clock game Eastern Standard Time. This one going to be on Fox Sports 1. And I'm going to go with the underdog here in this one. I think the Ohio Bobcats, I know I said in my videos that I do think San Diego State is going to win, but I have since changed my mind with how much is on the offensive end for this Ohio Bobcat team, with how much talent is here. I think the Ohio Bobcats have what it takes. They're going to be able to pull out a win against the San Diego State Aztecs on the road. It's going to be a very hard-fought victory, but the Bobcats will come out on top. That'll do it for this one. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, remember to play hard but tailgate harder. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.